this video I'm gonna show you how I make the most out of KeePass. So I will divide the video into 4 sections where I cover my first backup solution, second backup solution, form autofill implementation in the browser, and finally I will show you some little tweaks to improve the user experience in KeePass. So let's get started. So you created your KeePass database and now you have multiple logins saved in it, but you want to access it from another device you own. Let it be your laptop or your mobile phone. What you can do is traditionally copy that KeePass file and send it to your phone via USB cable, or send it over the network, or by other possible means. There's a lot of ways to move around any file between devices, but realistically speaking that can be annoying because you're mostly going to have lots of changes on that database. So whenever you create a new login entry or delete one or modify another, you will have a different version of the database, and eventually you will get confused which one is the most up-to-date. Is it the one on your phone or the one on your PC? And after deciding that, you will have to copy it and paste it over and over again. So this is not exactly practical. You need more efficient way to have your KeePass file accessed by all devices at the same time, where all of them can read and write your database simultaneously without worrying about tracking down multiple versions of the file. So the most convenient solution is to have the KeePass database stored on cloud storage, which serves as a unified destination any device can access. So now let me show you a demo on PC and Android phone. First, we have an example database with the name of example_database. And I have few fake entries in it, as you can see. And on this machine I have installed Dropbox, even though I'm normally used to use Google Drive, but basically the process is the same. So I'm just trying to demonstrate here. Now I'm going to simply move the database file to the Dropbox directory, which will upload it to the cloud once I'm connected to the internet. Now I will head to my phone and go to the Google Play Store, and there you can find several clients that can read and write KeePass files, most of which are open source. My personal favorite is the most popular one, KeePass to Android, and I already installed it. So when you open it up, you will be asked to locate your database file, and luckily KeePass to Android supports lots of remote cloud options, as you can see here. I'm gonna select Dropbox. The app will prompt you to open and log into your Dropbox account. From there, you're obviously gonna locate your database file and you're almost set up. The following screen recording turns black because of the security measure the app enforces in the Android system, so I'm unable to record it, but the next steps are really very straightforward. Even though I wish I could show you the amazing biometric unlock option supported by the app, which again isn't really that difficult. It's very straightforward. The app is overall user-friendly, so don't worry. And by this approach, I can easily access the same database from my phone and PC simultaneously. Now let me remind you that you should keep in mind that with this approach, you are dependent on a third-party service. And to access this service, you need your login information. So technically, you will have to memorize the master password of your KeePass database, as well as the cloud provider's login credentials. So please remember that. You will be responsible of memorizing 2 passwords, not only one. If you forget your cloud service password, you won't be able to access the database files stored on it. Which can be a serious nightmare, right? So it is wise to have plan B, which is keeping an offline copy of your database. I personally keep 2 offline copies of it, one on my hard drive, which is always connected to my machine, and the other one I copy it monthly through cable to my external backup drive. Now of course you can go to your cloud storage and download the file to your computer whenever you want, but since the file is frequently prone to change, you may forget one day to download the latest version of it and have things messed up. But fortunately, KeePass grants us with a built-in feature to synchronize our KeePass file with other files. Syncing two files means to have any recent changes on any side of the sync process copied over to the other. So if I create an entry X in database 1, entry X will be created in database 2. If I delete entry Y in database 2, it will also be deleted in database 1. Therefore, you must pay a lot of attention because it's a bi-directional process. If I create an entry Z in database 1 and also at the same time decided to wipe out the content of database 2, then both actions will take effect on both databases, which means database 1's entries will all be gone. That's why I treat the backup database as a read-only. I just never edit it, okay? So now, to synchronize, you simply go to the toolbar under File, you select Synchronize with another file and choose the file you want to synchronize. But notice the two files must have the same master password. So first I'm gonna create a new KeePass file and store it on a demo partition that you may think of as your usual backup destination. So I'm gonna use the same password as the original and save it. As you can see, it's pretty much the default empty database you always get when you create a new one. I have no more things to do with it right now, but personally what I like to do is to make it completely empty, so I will delete everything on it. And by that you will also avoid copying over the sample entries and folders created by default. Once it's cleared up, I will just create a test entry and save and close the file. I'm gonna go back to the main database that I want to synchronize, and after clicking on synchronize, I expect to see my current database content exported to the backup one and the content of the backup file be imported to the current one. And in fact, that's what happens. But this is the manual way, and this manual solution can be a little daunting, especially if you update your database frequently and you don't want to miss out any changes. So we need to find an automatic way, and the answer to that is by making use of the triggers system. Triggers enable you to do automatic actions when certain conditions are met and during certain events happen. So let me show you how it works. Currently I'm inside my main database. I will go to the toolbar up top. Under Tools, I will click on the Triggers option. From there you will create a new trigger. Press the Add button. Here in the first window you will have some input fields for generic information about your trigger. You can give it whatever name you want. Once done, go to the Events tab. From here we will click on Add, and from the drop-down menu we can see the available events that KeePass offers to us, which are basically the events that our desired action should be executed at. So I personally prefer to synchronize when I close the database before it saves. And here notice the options below for giving more specific details on how the event is expected to occur. So actually there's some scenarios you might run into and you need to give more specific information or specific instructions to KeePass so it doesn't get confused. So one way KeePass can get confused in this example is whenever you when you open a database that is different from the one you intend to keep in sync, KeePass will carry out the trigger no matter what. It will just always run the trigger when you close any database before it saves, right? And that's problematic because what if you have a different database you don't want to sync, right? This will give you undesired output eventually. So we have to avoid that. Another problem can arise if the open database has different master password to the one it's trying to copy to. So KeePass will likely throw some errors and probably even crash. So in order to avoid all of this confusion, I'm gonna tell KeePass to only run this trigger, only make this event valid when the open database file matches the file of the wanted database I like to keep in sync. So in this case it should contain example_database because that's the name I gave for my file in this demo, and now everything should work fine. Now the event is set up, but the trigger isn't doing anything yet. So I will go to the Action tab, and here we will tell it what to do when the event happens, when we close the database. So obviously we will choose Synchronize File, and we will copy the path of the backup file and type it here. And we are all set and ready to go. Let's give it a shot by creating some dummy entry and deleting this one. I will close the app and open the file on my local storage and see everything is indeed the same. If you have ever tried any password manager other than KeePass, you most likely missed the really convenient browser extension that autofills the login forms for you. But fortunately again, someone out there contributed to the KeePass project and made that possible. I have found an extension called KeePassHelper, which can be a real time saver. It's available on both Chrome and Firefox. So for this demo, I'm gonna install it on Microsoft Edge. I will head to the add-on store and look up KeePassHelper and click install. But for this extension to function, it requires to have another plugin called KeePassHTTP. As you can see in the description box, there's a link to it. I will copy it and grab the plugin and download it. And in order for third-party plugins to work in KeePass, you need to have the plugin file added to the plugins folder, which can be found by going to the toolbar menu. Under Tools, click Plugins, then click on Open Folder and paste it in here. For the plugin to take effect, we just need to restart KeePass. After restarting, you can go back to the browser and activate the extension. So I will click on the extensions icon and click on Proceed. It will prompt you to give it permission to access the KeePass client, and it will create a special entry for communicating with the app. The name here isn't necessary, you can name it whatever you want. Now I will go to the browser again and try it on some website which has a saved password in my database. So for this example, I will go to Facebook and click on the extension, and for the first time it will show me this dialog box to ask for search permission. I will remember the choice so it doesn't pop up again. And notice here the notification down below. It will show up whenever you try to access the KeePass client, so I will get rid of it by going to the KeePass HTTP plugins settings and uncheck the show notification option. So now everything should be working. Back again to the browser, I double click on Facebook entry, and here we go, doing exactly what we just wanted to do. In this final chapter, I'd like to show you some tweaks I do to improve the visual experience as well as the behavior of KeePass. So I will go to the options under Tools, and here we have a plethora of settings to adjust, but actually we just need just a few of them. So first, in the Security tab, I like to auto-lock my workplace after 1 hour of complete inactivity, not only in the application itself, but rather in the whole system, and that's what global here means. So I'm gonna check this option and set it to 3600 seconds. And to add more security, I want to lock my workplace if I switch Windows users. And that's it for security settings. Moving on to interface number 1. I like to check this option to hide KeePass from the taskbar and have it inside the system tray instead, and obviously this is a personal preference. Next, under Entry List, automatically resize columns when resizing the window. This will make the app look more responsive and prettier in my opinion. Now I will go to interface number 2. Here is the most noticeable change will really take effect by using a custom font. Personally, I tried many of the familiar fonts and finally decided to go with the Calibri, bold, and a size of 14 points. And just see now how much different everything looks in the app. Finally, under the Advanced tab, I will check 2 very helpful time savers and even sometimes life savers, not only time saving options. Number 1, automatically saving the database when closing it, and number 2, automatically saving the database whenever a change happens inside of any entry log. So if you edit the password or any other field, or even if you create a new entry, the database will save right away, which is really super handy feature to have, as it can help you survive sudden shutdowns or unexpected system failures. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you learned something useful from it, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments section. I'll try my best to answer them, and thank you for watching.